Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Welcome to the good life.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Good Life Friday, and you know I like to warm your heart, open your mind to living differently in the world, and give you those stories, those background stories that you didn't really know. Sometimes you think you know somebody, but you really don't. And you don't know the work that they put in to get to where they are. Well, I am honored today to be in the studio with Miss Samantha Beaulieu from WBOK, and actually from so many movies and TV shows, I can't even count at this point. I was looking at her reel of information. I was like, Samantha, damn, you've been doing all kind of stuff. I am so proud of you. WBOK is so proud of you, and I know your dad listening right now. Shout out to you, Paul, is proud of you as well. So we want to thank you for being here and, kind of opening our minds to exactly how you became who you are, and you kind of laid the steps for so many who are in this arena as well, because you also teach.
Yes.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that.
I don't know. The kiddies do. I teach kids and preteens, and I love it.
Well, they will find out soon. Well, we have Samantha here today, honestly, because she is, number one, wonderful, but you are premiering in the world premiere of A Song of a Man Coming Through. It is presented by the Southern Rep Regional Theater, and their opening night is Saturday, November 7th. So that is this Saturday,
tomorrow.
Y'all. It is going down. We're going to get a little bit into exactly what the show, or the play, I should say, is about. But you want to give us a little specifics now before we kind of jump into who you are? Because I know you're not used to being on the other side of the microphone.
No, this is weird. And I just wanted to say congratulations to you too, Eileen, and happy anniversary. You've been on the air here for a year now.
Yes.
And you definitely made a cheery contribution. I mean, I just love the positivity that you spread on The Good Life. I'm always quoting things that you say.
Oh, for real?
And, you never know who's listening.
Exactly. You never know who's
listening. And I just admire your cheer and brightness so early in the morning.
You're like, how do you get up?
Like,
I
how
don't know. I guess
that?
I'm just a morning person.
But
I thank God for that.
So thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
it's nice
girl.
to be on the other side.
And it's WBOK is really a family, and we've been seeing Samantha, study for all of her plays and all the stuff that she's in. And, she'll get up and she'll act out a little scene. We're like, oh, yeah, we can't wait to go see you. So we get to see behind the scenes and how she grows with her characters. And so, really seeing her, really see her get into Song of a Man Coming Through, because she'll get up and she'll sing these gospel spirituals, and I'm like, yeah. So we have church in the lobby. So it's really been amazing for me to see you prepare for this play. So
or I'll just bust out a line.
Yeah, you do.
You guys will be like,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I do it to Janae. I love to do it to Janae.
She does.
She's just like, I can't go there. I can't do it.
But
today.
then you look like such a different person. You totally get into character, and I'm like, huh?
That's how I practice my lines on you guys.
Samantha? I'm like, Samantha? She's like, no, I'm the. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Okay, go.
Go. It's been a wonderful journey. And I just, I appreciate WBOK. Just, the support and encouragement. Like you said, we are like a family. And, you guys help me and build me up more than you know.
Oh. You got your back, girl.
Right. But, acting, it's been a dream of mine for a while. But growing up in New Orleans, I never thought it was something feasible, something that I could actually do. I mean, growing up, it wasn't Hollywood
Far away
South.
From California,
yeah,
right?
It was so far away. I didn't know any actors really growing up. I didn't do plays in high school. I did a play in 7th grade once, The Knave of Hearts. I remember this. And my dad came and he said, "Girl, you got it." And I had a great time, but that was the last play I did. I just never, like I said, I wasn't exposed to it. Mm-hmm. And how they say it, you can't be what you did not see. And I never really knew anyone. So it wasn't until I moved to California, Burbank, with my job, my corporate job. I was working for the Walt Disney Company.
Fun.
In marketing in Orlando, and they relocated me to California. And once I got to Burbank, on the studio lot, I mean,
wow,
everybody's an actor. I mean, that's where they take My Wife and Kids, the sitcom.
Oh,
that was the first set I'd ever gone.
See, I don't even know all this. This is cool.
It was fun. I used to call in sick from my job and go on the My Wife and Kids set and be an extra. That's how I was able to accumulate my Screen Actor Guild vouchers. I joined the union
Really?
doing extra work. So if you watch old episodes of My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans and Tisha Campbell, you might see me in the background crossing in the park or doing something in a person in the courtroom. Yeah, I did a lot of extra work.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is such a cool story. So from there, after you were on the Disney lot and you kind of got the bug and you got bitten, what was the next step that you took to grow in your career? You're like, you know what, I really want to try this out.
While the whole time I was working at Disney, I took classes, like on Saturdays. The first acting teacher I'd ever had was Chip Fields. I don't know if you remember Tootie from The Facts of Life.
Yes.
Kim Fields, her mother, who was also Janet Jackson's mother on Good Times.
Really?
Penny's mom. Remember the scene where she burned her with the iron?
Yes, everybody remembers that. You were
Right,
like, oh my
exactly,
gosh.
right. She was my first acting teacher, and I used to take classes with her on Saturday mornings. And
Really?
it was just like an outlet. I loved it. I would go to class and it was just so much fun, completely transformed myself. The first scene I'd ever done was from the movie Tootsie. And, picking out the wardrobe and fixing my hair, just trying to create this character it was so much fun. And it was such an outlet. And she was the first person who kind of encouraged me. She was just like, if this is something that you enjoy, you ought to think about getting some headshots and maybe auditioning. I mean,
Right.
And so I did.
Well, because there's a lot of young actors or aspiring actors who are listening right now, and they were like, this is so amazing. I've been waiting to hear this. I've been waiting for, this to touch me. And it's touching them now. What would you suggest their first step be?
It's funny. I got a call just last week from a young girl in college. She's like 19, 20 in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
A friend's relative, a friend said, this is my little
friend.
cousin.
Right.
She wants to be an actress, so she gave her my number to call, and she asked that very question. I'm interested in this, and what do I do? And, I want you to help me try to sign up with an agency, get an agent. And I'm thinking, girl, do you know how long it took before I had an agent? It's just, people just have this misconception that, I decide I'm going to be an actor, let me just get an agent. But
exactly.
it just doesn't work that way. The main thing you have to do is just work your craft, do it. So I told her, you can start right where you are. You're on a college campus. There's got to be a drama department.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I guess so. I'm like, no, you need to find out, go to that drama department, figure out when they're having plays, audition.
Right.
And just start doing it.
Just start doing it.
And that's where you start. And then, my sister taught me that. She said, I always thought I have to find an agent. But she said the way it works, because she worked for an agency,
Okay.
she said they seek you out.
Really?
Agents spend a lot of their time working for their current clients, and then they look they see who they would like to represent, and they will come to you. So, so the work has to kind of speak.
They
for
have to have
itself.
something to go off of.
Exactly. So do plays, do showcases, put yourself in positions where people will see you, and then when it's time, it'll happen.
It'll happen.
You just have to kind of relax it. So yeah.
Everything
it's
happens
process.
the way it's supposed to.
Yes, and it's a process, and I had to learn that, 13 years later, but.
Yeah, but it's funny because, so many people tell us that, and we take it for granted. Like, prepare yourself. It's opportunity is where, success is where opportunity meets preparation.
Right. Luck. The definition of luck is, I always teach this to my students. They say, oh, she's so lucky. She booked this.
Right.
One of our students at John Robert Powers, she booked a recurring role on the series Underground. She plays a little girl and she worked like several months. And all the other little kids were like, she's so lucky and she's lucky. And I said, no. The definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Right.
And this little girl had been studying there for years. And then when the opportunity came to audition for this, she was ready.
She was ready.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that's what I tell people. That's my advice. I mean, and we're a town rich with culture and, theater, music. I mean, there's stages everywhere. I mean, Cafe Istanbul, there are plays there all the time.
Right.
So it's like, read the paper.
Be a tourist in your own city.
A couple of auditions. I mean, I've worked with a lot of the theater companies around town, and Cripple Creek, Anthony Bean, now Southern Rep. And a lot of times I would just read about the auditions in the Sunday paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I remember I did a show at Cripple Creek, The Mad Woman of Shiloh, which was actually just on Turner Classics last week. It was an old movie.
Really?
And I played the role that Yul Brynner played, the president. They made it a woman. And I found out about that audition in the paper. casting call.
Mm-hmm.
So I just showed up.
So you never know where you can find it, but you have to open your eyes.
Yep. And I think another thing too is you should never think there's no such thing as a small part. Only small actors.
Oh, wow.
And so I think a lot of times people might think, oh, I'm not going to do theater, I'm not going to do that because it's not in line with their vision of success or what they think is success. But you have to humble yourself and realize one of my first acting teachers, Chip Fields, taught me that there are no small parts, only small actors, and you can captivate with a look. You don't even have to have a line. But if you're strong and you're committed, people will notice. So I've always taken that to heart. I've driven out to Kenner for auditions for just 2 words.
Right.
A movie, man on the floor. I mean, that was really an audition. I just don't say that. And I had to go back for the callback to just say man on the floor.
But look where you are today.
And that movie, that was Texas Killing Fields. I got that part, and the audition was that. But when we did the table read, the director, Amy Mann, she was impressed, and she said, I just feel we have to utilize you a little bit more. So she wrote me, they made me the part a little bit bigger, and I was the daughter of another great local actress, Deneen Tyler. She played the mother, and so what started out as an audition for a 1 line ended up being a 1 week contract. That was my first, weekly. Like I had 5 days on that.
I was
movie.
about to ask you. I was about to say, what was that first job that you got that you were like, you ran out and told everybody, you're like, Mom, Dad, friends, everybody,
Probably that one, Texas Killing Fields, because like I said, the audition was for a line. And the callback was for, that 1 line, and it was in Kenner. And I had to drive all the way to Kenner to say, but I didn't think of it that way. I never thought of it that way. I get very excited about every single opportunity, every audition. I'm equally excited.
But that's what makes you different. And that's what she saw in you.
I don't know. I was just happy to be there. I was happy to be invited to the party. So
you were grateful.
Yes, grateful. And I think a lot of actors are, young actors starting out, they're impatient and they feel I'm better than that. And I'm like, the world, nobody owes you anything. It's
right.
like, you have to just do the work. Just do the work and humble yourself. And, it'll happen when it's time, when it's supposed to.
What is it like teaching students?
I love it. They're great. I teach 4 to 8-year-olds, and I also teach preteens, and they're so excited. They're so enthused about the craft, and their imaginations are like, they're a lot of times they're more free than the adults. They don't hold back at all.
We haven't taught them to do that yet.
Right. And that's what makes you good, I think, as an actor. When you can just go there.
Right.
And I had one student, 5 years old. I was telling the class that your imagination is like one of your biggest tools as an actor. It's like your imagination, feelings, your voice, and your body. Those 4 things you've got to be, they've got to be sharp. And he raises his hand. He goes, Miss Samantha, I live in my imagination more than I live in the world.
Oh, wow.
That was deep. And I said, that's awesome. When you're an adult, it's called delusional. But
right, exactly.
As a child,
it's all good.
But it's true. I mean, as an actor, that's what we do. It's like being real in a make-believe situation. It takes imagination to do that.
It does. It absolutely does. We are here on The Good Life with Samantha Beaulieu, and we are discussing, the journey. Everybody thinks you just, pop out and you're amazing, and that you have everything just works out. But people really don't understand the journey. And I think, you opened my mind. I didn't know, that you worked for Disney and that's how you got on the lot and then you grew from there. That's an amazing story. And we know that you've done a lot of jobs because I've seen you in so many things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look how cool that is. What are some of your favorite jobs that you have had as an actress?
Film-wise, I'd say Now You See Me. With the magicians,
yes!
Mark Ruffalo, Melanie Laurent, director Louis Leterrier. That was a great experience because everybody was just wonderful on that set. I mean, Melanie Laurent and Mark Ruffalo are Academy Award nominated and winning actors, and they were just so cool. I mean, Melanie Laurent and I would ride to set in the van, and she would teach me curse words in French. I mean, they're just so down to earth, and they would invite me to dinner, like when we wrap up, we're going to try this place, Tommy's on Chapatoulas. Do you want to come?
Sure, I do.
I mean, yeah, but actually, I couldn't because they wrapped early that day. But the fact that they even would invite someone, I mean, because a lot of, sometimes stars, there's some stars.
They act like stars.
Yes, they act like it. And I've encountered a few of those on sets, and I always said that is exactly how I will not be.
That is not the good life.
No, that is not the good life. I mean, like, my wife and kids, that was always a very joyous experience for me, even when I was an extra. That was the first set I'd ever been on. It was on a studio lot, and Tisha Campbell, who played the wife, so nice, so friendly. She'd come on that set every day and just, hey, girl, I like those shoes. Talk to the extras, and some stars don't even give you eye contact if you're like an extra. I mean, yeah, they're, above. They're so some
in
people,
their mind.
In their mind, right. They're not living the good life.
But when you are above, you
talk to everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. It shows the type of person that you are.
Exactly.
It absolutely does. This is Eileen. This is The Good Life. We are here on Good Life Friday, and we have Miss Samantha Beaulieu in the studio. She's a part of the WBOK family, and she has a play that starts on tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to jump right into that when we get back. This is The Good Life. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Susan Henry, General Manager at WBOK 1230 AM. Thanksgiving and Christmas are difficult times for so many of our neighbors. To increase awareness of hunger and foster widespread community support, we are teaming up with Second Harvest Food Bank for their holiday meal drive. You can help this effort by donating non-perishable food items. Donations can be bought to WBOK at 1639 Gentilly Boulevard between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Thank you in advance for your support of WBOK, Second Harvest, and the fight against hunger in South Louisiana.
I need help. My hair is a mess, and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's RINGLETTS.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now. The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation presents the 8th Annual Treme Creole Gumbo Festival, November 14th and 15th in Armstrong Park. If you love brass band music, the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival is the place to be. It's the premier brass band showcase in New Orleans. We'll have all of your favorites, including the Rebirth Brass Band, Hot 8, the Pinettes, To Be Continued, and more. Plus, we've got some of the most famous names from brass band history, including the legendary Fairview Baptist Church Brass Band, the Eureka Brass Band, the Onward Brass Band, and Leroy Jones's original Hurricane Brass Band, all performing live on stage in Armstrong Park, November 14th and 15th at the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival. And how about that gumbo? We'll have 12 food vendors, each with their own version of New Orleans' most famous dish. We'll have gumbo zerbs, seafood gumbo, chicken and andouille gumbo, Creole filet gumbo, and much more. Plus, there will be a huge arts market and a kids tent for the little ones. So bring the whole family to the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival, November 14th and 15th in Armstrong Park. Admission is free. Produced and presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation.
I'm Jerry Broussard Baloney, and I was your Democratic candidate for Attorney General. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but we can win with our vote and proud endorsement of Jeff Landry, a progressive thinker who cares about you and me. Jeff Landry is committed to reforming our criminal justice system, sentencing reform, and ending corruption. Let's end the buddy system and put Louisiana before party and politics. This message was paid for by Louisiana Citizens for Job Creators PAC and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life. We are here on Good Life Friday, where I like to warm your heart and your soul. We are here with the Samantha Beaulieu. She is a WBOK family member, but not only that, she is an actress that is absolutely amazing. She's been here, there, everywhere. On the lot of Disney, I learned that starting, with small extra background work. I'm trying to think of the word that goes with it. Background. No, it is. That is it. Extra. Yeah. Being an extra, and then, growing to her actress status, and now to the point where she even teaches children. So I know we were kind of talking about that earlier, but I wanted to get into, if someone wanted to, reach out to you because their child was interested in acting, how would they go about doing that?
At the school, or
in general, however. Do they just call you and say,
yeah, you can
Samantha,
call, I want to act? You can email me, Samantha at WBOK1230am.com. You can email me there.
And you also have a website, don't you?
I do.
And everyone should go there.
Website. Yes.
SamanthaBeaulieu.com. That is SamanthaBeaulieu.com. So go there. You can always.
I always forget to.
Yes,
mention
girl.
it.
You have to go there and keep up with what she's doing. Your family, and that's what New Orleans is all about. They hear you on the radio every day. What time is your show? Because they should definitely tune in.
Fridays. 2 o'clock.
Friday
2 to 3.
2 o'clock.
Today,
2 o'clock.
But
so
today's
make sure
special. I have someone guest hosting for me.
Really?
I need a break. Yeah, it's going to be a great show, but I'm going to do it a little different.
So normally she is there Fridays at 2, but you do have a big event coming up today.
Yeah.
So
I'll be there, but we're going to just do it a little different.
Do a little mix up.
Yeah.
So you have to tune in to see. Mm-hmm. So tune in today at 2 to see what the new mix is. Mm-hmm. And speaking of what you have going on tomorrow, give us a little information about that.
So right now I'm doing a play. I love the theater. There's nothing like live theater. Nothing beats it.
I would be so nervous.
Oh, it's such a rush. It's fun. We're in previews right now, and anything could happen. Our first night I think it was Tuesday. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but it was great. The director, we skipped an entire scene. On stage.
It's like live radio without the mic.
Right. Or people forget a line and you're just kind of looking at the other actor like, what you got?
Right.
My brain is right now.
It's going, right.
It just, anything could happen, and it's just really great. But, this is an amazing cast, a powerhouse.
Tell me who's there.
Robert Doakey, amazing actor. He's the son of G. Tucker and the late Robert Doakey. His father was an amazing actor in Los Angeles years ago. So Robert's amazing. He plays the role, the title role, Ernest Knighton Jr., which the play is about. Lance Nichols. Lance is amazing, and we're lucky to have him. Lance comes in every day talking about, I just had to pass up another role. I couldn't go on this audition for Oprah. Couldn't do that. Because he's really committed. Lance Nichols from Treme, and that movie that's out now, he plays the wife of Sherry Shepherd. What's the movie? Woodlawn.
Oh, yes.
It's in theaters.
Yes,
Lance is in that.
Aiden saw that.
Okay, yeah.
With the football. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Lance Nichols. Cecile Montaigne, another amazing actress. Here she's played Marie Antoinette, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. She's just wonderful, and it's such a delight to share scenes with her because she's so present. and her eyes. She's so intense, and I love sharing the stage with her.
I know y'all can't see this, but I love watching Samantha because she's so animated when she explains things like an actress. Like, you're sitting here, we can sit here and talk, but she's a whole different level. She's just very expressive.
I'm excited. I'm excited
to have you here, and I'm just excited to watch you.
I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited about this show. The rest of the cast, Mike Harkins, Ian Hoke, John Neisler, and Mark Burton. Actually, Mark Burton, he plays one of the supporting roles in the play, and I just found this out during rehearsal. He's actually an attorney in real life.
Oh, really?
And, the play, there's a lot of legal talk, a lot of legalese, because, the play is about a man on death row.
And we're about to get into exactly what the play is about.
Yeah, and the legal team that are, there to defend him, and, they eventually turn out to be his biggest advocates and his friends.
His family.
Like family, yeah. And Amy Hayes, I have to say, director, she's directing it. Brilliant, beautiful woman. She's also the artistic director of Southern Rep Theater, and it's great. That's actually my first play being directed by Amy. I've done a Southern Rep production, but The Lily's Revenge a couple of years back, but Pamela Davis Nolan directed it. This was a 5-act play, and they had 5 directors for each act.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's a lot going on.
It is. It was epic. It was an experience. But that's Southern Rep. That's Southern Rep.
That is so cool. Can you give us a little bit? Well, before I kind of jump in there, look at me being nosy. How is it on the set of a play when you first take that step there? Do they have, I know we were talking a little bit about, people having, I guess, their egos coming out, but do y'all really kind of become a family, by the end of the process? Because y'all spend so much time together. Like, you were telling me the hours that you work, to get ready for a play, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think people understand how much time really goes into putting on a production.
We were in rehearsals. We've been in rehearsals for about a month, and, Tuesday through Sunday, 7 to 11 at night.
Have y'all noticed how her voice changed? Like,
that was hard.
Yes,
it was
a lot.
Grueling. I'm not going to lie. It was hard. It's a lot of work.
Right.
A lot of work. But yeah, you do become very close. And then now that we're in the space, we're our backstage, you're in a room, and everybody's walking around in their underwear, getting dressed.
Right.
There's a girl side and a guy side, but they come over, they need things from our side.
Right.
We need to see the mirror. So you got, people walking around in their boxers and girls walking around in their Spanx and their whatever, like we, putting their wigs on and
right. You don't even care at this point.
No, like we are just we are like it's
we
like
are
it is like a family.
Right.
We don't argue. We might have moments of like this doesn't work, and so we have to talk it out.
Right.
And the director, will step in and kind of like the mama bear of the group, but it's just great. It's been a great experience, and I get there a little early, and I just like going into the space when there's nobody there, no audience, and maybe the director's there working with an actor or two, and I just like kind of walk through my scene. I like to walk my space before there's the house. The house is in there because you just.
So what is the house?
The house is the people, the audience.
Okay. No, I just for us, lay people who don't understand all the wording, all the actor verbiage.
Like they'll say, the house is open. Like there'll be the stage manager backstage on the mic with the thing in his ear.
Uh-huh.
It's like, look at a restaurant. It's exactly like a restaurant. You have front of the house, back of the house. Front of the house is the box office, people in the front dealing with the people getting their tickets. And then you have your stage managers in the back of the house with us backstage so that they're communicating to let us know.
How much y'all learn on Good Life?
We got a big house tonight. You guys get your stuff together.
Really?
Or, we got a small crowd, but we want to make them feel included. Like, so they communicate.
Right.
We got 5 minutes till curtain. That means, 5 minutes to use the bathroom, do whatever you got to do.
That's what Lee tells us. Get your mind right. You got 3 minutes before you go on.
Exactly.
He's like, anybody want to do a radio show?
So I like to get there early and, before the house is open, before they're letting the patrons into the audience, into the space. And I like to get on the stage and just kind of feel the energy and
live in the now.
Meditate, pray, and go through my lines and my blocking or my action. Blocking is like your actions, which
really?
is like when you sit down, when you stand up. It's not random. It's all very specific.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, I teach that to students. They think, acting is just this thing. You just get up there and be cute.
Right.
No.
You're like, no.
No. One of my first acting teachers said there is no such thing as a dumb actor. I mean, there's no such thing. I mean, you have to have a brain because you have to think of a lot, not only your lines, but like, the physical blocking. When do I stand? When do I point? When am I doing this? I mean, and it has to be organic at the same time, natural.
Right.
So that's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy. Just trying to, do multitask, we lose our minds, look right now on the radio. No, I'm just
right. No, you have to be present. You have got to be present because then when you're in the moment, then you're open to things that happen unexpectedly. Like that's the fun, that's the joy of theater when things just happen.
Things just happen.
Yeah.
And speaking of Song of a Man Coming Through, it is a true story of Ernest Knighton Jr., who turned his journey through death row at Angola into a transformative experience for himself and the community that gathered around him. At the heart of Ernest's particular journey is a universal message about the human capacity for change, even in the worst of circumstances. We've worked to turn a true story, or I should say Southern Rep, a true story into a theatrical experience that will be emotionally compelling, intellectually engaging, and even inspiring for audiences. And that's with the co-playwright Andrew Doss. So this is a true story. So firsthand accounts of Bishop Joe Doss, who was the
part of his legal
priest
team. He was a priest, but at the time he was a priest who he got lawyers for people on death row. So he worked, and he was a lawyer who happened to be a priest.
Oh,
Episcopal priest.
Double duty.
Right, but he had a law degree, and and he got Julian Murphy, who was a lawyer, a public defender at the time, one of the big one back in those days in the 80s. They got this case, or Joe, the priest, got the case. He got wind of it because he had to find him a lawyer, and Julian Murphy roped him in, like, you're going to be my co-counsel, and we're together. We're going to go save this guy's life. They were trying to appeal. They were trying to get his sentencing overturned. I mean, he was given the death sentence. So, wow. I mean, they were trying to save his life. They were trying to get him a life sentence. So that's something, Ernest, to have to grapple with. I mean, how do you come to terms? I mean, you have to make a choice. Do I want to live in here, in this box, for the rest of my life, or do I want to die at 38?
Right.
And
38.
He was 38. And, he went to his death choosing life because he'd become clean in prison. He was on drugs. He was a drug addict, and that's what actually caused him to be there. The crime he committed. He was high. He didn't even realize what he had done. So, he was able to change and become the man he always wanted to be on death row.
On death row.
And he wanted to, if he lived, he's like, I want to minister to people and tell young kids not to do drugs. That was his purpose. But he's like, but if I die, promise me that you will tell my story. And that's what makes this story so special, that Joe Doss kept that promise 31 years later.
Oh, I got chills thinking that.
He and his son.
How many people do that these days?
Right. People don't keep their word. And
not trying to be funny, but like for real.
They really don't. And I'm like, this man is just probably smiling down on us. And that's what he wanted, to make a contribution. His story was his contribution to society. He didn't want to die, just having wasted his life as a drug addict and then wasted another's life. He killed the man. I mean, he was in prison for murder.
If I've made a mistake, how can I use this as a learning lesson for somebody else so they don't walk down the same path? Right.
And the play really delves into the legal system and just how messed up it can be. I mean, the system it's a trip.
And it's sometimes until you know someone who's going through a situation like that, it's really like, oh, that can't happen to me, or that's so far-fetched, or, you just can't really relate until there's a family member or a friend of a friend or something like that, and then you start getting wind of it. You're like, what? How did that happen? And you're like, what if your, child made a mistake, and then, totally went left because of something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it can happen just like that. I mean, in his case, and I think in so many cases, drugs and alcohol can play a big part. There was a story recently, I was listening to the news on WBOK, Janelle, about that the girl who was driving down Claiborne and struck a pedestrian. And 29 years old, and she'd been drinking, and just like that, her life is done. Like, she's in prison for vehicular homicide, and probably will spend the rest of her life in jail. And, 1 minute you're working, you have a family. Like Ernest, he had a family, had a wife and kids, but, he wasn't strong enough to beat drugs. So he'd go out, get high and do God knows what, but then come home and be a good man, his family, and just like that, because of that, because of the drugs, alcohol, his life and others' life, not just it affects him. I mean,
exactly.
And it affects the family, the wife, the kids are left with no father. And statistics show men who are in prison, they're likely, if they have sons, they will end up in prison.
And it's funny, I was watching this scene in I think it was with Lisa Ling. I forgot the exact title of it, but I think This Is Life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all of these guys who were in prison, and they were in a special program, and they allowed their daughters to come, and they had a father-daughter dance, and they were there for like 3 hours.
Wow.
And the impact that it made on those daughters, and they were able to do like arts and crafts with their dads. They were able to take pictures. They were able to really have that connection. But, that was an illusion that they, because it was going to be over in 3 hours and they were going to have to leave. And you could see how some of the girls knew their fathers, but some of the girls had no idea who they were. And this one little girl, was like, I want to leave. She was like maybe 4, and it broke her father's heart. But, you really, it's killing our society. And so you have so many times that we can really focus on people's needs before they get into that situation. When you see somebody who, is depressed or is going through something, you know what? Be that hand to like lift them out. We are actually going to run into the break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about transformations, because that's what Ernest Knighton Jr. went through. He went through a transformation, and Samantha Beaulieu is in, you want to tell us?
Song of a Man Coming Through.
And the world premiere is when?
Tomorrow night, Saturday. I mean, tonight is our final preview, so you can go. Tickets are $25 tonight, 8 o'clock. It's a preview, but it's a full-on show. But tomorrow is the official opening night.
Official opening night. Well, we are going to give you all the specifics of that when we get right back. This is Eileen, and I'm out.
We welcome our listeners to join us for Frankly Fridays, where dialogue meets debate. Your week in your words with Dr. W.L.T. Littleton every Friday at 11 a.m. on WBOK, Real Talk for Real Times.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be.
It's almost that time again, Bayou Classic time, and tickets are on sale now. Make sure you're in New Orleans as the Southern Jaguars and Grambling Tigers take over the Crescent City for the biggest classic weekend in the country. And who will take home the new trophy for the first time? You need to be there to find out who. It starts Thursday, November 26th at the Bayou Classic Thanksgiving Day Parade. On Friday, see the ultimate Battle of the Bands and Greek show. And on Saturday, the teams go head-to-head on the field at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Don't miss the 42nd annual Bayou Classic in November. Visit mybayouclassic.com for more information and to purchase tickets.
Hello?
I need help. My hair is a mess, and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting a Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the River. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's RINGLETTS.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now. The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation presents the 8th Annual Treme Creole Gumbo Festival, November 14th and 15th in Armstrong Park. If you love brass band music, the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival is the place to be. It's the premier brass band showcase in New Orleans. We'll have all of your favorites, including the Rebirth Brass Band, Hot 8, the Pinettes, To Be Continued, and more. Plus, we've got some of the most famous names from brass band history, including the legendary Fairview Baptist Church Brass Band, the Eureka Brass Band, the Onward Brass Band, and Leroy Jones's original Hurricane Brass Band, all performing live on stage in Armstrong Park, November 14th and 15th at the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival. And how about that gumbo? We'll have 12 food vendors, each with their own version of New Orleans' most famous dish. We'll have gumbo zerbs, seafood gumbo, chicken and andouille gumbo, Creole filet gumbo, and much more. Plus, there will be a huge arts market and a kids tent for the little ones. So bring the whole family to the Treme Creole Gumbo Festival, November 14th and 15th in Armstrong Park. Admission is free. Produced and presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation.
I'm Jerry Broussard Baloney, and I was your Democratic candidate for Attorney General. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but we can win with our vote and proud endorsement of Jeff Landry, a progressive thinker who cares about you and me. Jeff Landry is committed to reforming our criminal justice system, sentencing reform, and ending corruption. Let's end the buddy system and put Louisiana before party and politics. This message was paid for by Louisiana Citizens for Job Creators PAC and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Hi, I'm Susan Henry, General Manager at WBOK 1230 AM. Thanksgiving and Christmas are difficult times for so many of our neighbors. To increase awareness of hunger and foster widespread community support, we are teaming up with Second Harvest Food Bank for their holiday meal drive. You can help this effort by donating non-perishable food items. Donations can be bought to WBOK at 1639 Gentilly Boulevard between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Thank you in advance for your support of WBOK, Second Harvest, and the fight against hunger in South Louisiana.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on The Good Life Friday, and you know what the Good Life really is? The Good Life is giving back. And WBOK is having a holiday meal drive. You know, Thanksgiving and Christmas are difficult times for so many of our neighbors. To increase awareness of hunger and foster widespread community support, WBOK is teaming up with Second Harvest Food Bank for the holiday meal drive. You can help this effort by donating non-perishable food items. Donations can be brought to WBOK, which is 1639 Gentilly Boulevard. That is 1639 Gentilly Boulevard. If you don't know where that is, y'all, is right by the Jazz Fest. That's at the Fairgrounds Racetrack between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 a.m. So that's 10 a.m. and 4 a.m. Please come drop some non-perishable food items. So I want to thank everybody in advance for your support of WBOK, Second Harvest Food Bank, and the fight against hunger in the south of Louisiana, because we do not realize how lucky we are not to have to worry about where our next meal is coming from. And the good life is opening your mind to living differently in the world. So let's start by helping those who can't necessarily help themselves, especially through the holiday season. And speaking of someone who was at a point in his life that couldn't help himself, we are here with Samantha Beaulieu. She is in a play, Song of a Man Coming Through, and it's a true story of Ernest Knighton Jr., who was on his journey through death row at Angola, and it became a transformative experience for him. And he asked part of his legal team, which was Bishop Joe Morris Doss, to please tell his story and to please let his story be brought to light. And I believe it was 30 years later?
31 years
31
ago.
years.
Halloween night.
Really?
That was the day he was executed, 1984.
Wow.
Halloween night. So this Halloween will never mean the same thing for me after doing this show. I can tell you that. I've been transformed. I didn't even dress up this year. I didn't do anything. I didn't go out. I was studying my script and praying for Ernest's soul and just reflecting on this opportunity. This is like probably one of the best opportunities I've ever had on stage, and it's all because he lived. So I'm like thinking, praising him, like, thank you, Ernest.
And that is so amazing, because I know we were talking about a little bit about the break, because I wanted to talk about what this play really brings to light, and that's transformation. And so many times in our lives, we make mistakes, and, we're so overwhelmed by them. But you can make a change if you want to. But you have to open your mind, and you have to want to take those steps. So how has learning Ernest's story, been transformative to you? I think you gave us a little bit there, but, how did it open your heart?
I mean, it taught me that we all have it within us to become who we want to be. I mean, I think, like you said, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
I live in a glass house. Let's be clear. You see this right here? They got a couple cracks on this side and that side.
Right. I mean,
don't touch too much pressure.
We all make mistakes, and so often people living on the outside. When I say the outside, I mean outside of the prison system. I mean, we go to our grave not ever really changing or becoming who we want to be. A lot of people never become who they want to be. It's hard sometimes to change yourself.
You want to say change is uncomfortable.
It is.
But it's walking through that uncomfortable feeling, and that's when you grow.
Right. And I think it takes strength, faith. I mean, here's a man who's facing death and, ministering to others, preaching about faith and love and God. And yet the state's trying to kill him. I mean, that's special. That takes a strong, special type of an individual. So that's how it's made me reflect more on that, on being strong enough to be the person that I want to be and the person that I know I am deep down. So yeah, it's been very
transformative.
Transformative. Yes.
No, I only say that word because that's the word from the play, and it's a big word, and it's something that we're here on The Good Life, and we like to open people's mind to living differently in the world. And I think a lot of listeners, and I've had a lot of my co-hosts through this past year have said, this has been a transformative year for me. Listening to the things that we discuss, and this isn't something that we just randomly put up here, that we randomly decide, I'm going to talk about this today. These are things that we're going through, or maybe things that we've gone through in our past where, we've learned a lesson, and we try to, impart that knowledge to, our listeners, because that's what life is about.
It's a good life.
That's the good life.
I've learned a lot from your Money Mondays, managing your money and things, listening to your show on Mondays when you have the financial folks on. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Well, let's be clear. I have him on because I'm learning from him too. I'm like, wait, how do you do that? Okay, let me do that. Because that's what it's all about. It's about doing it together. Because when we do it together, we're a stronger community. And learning from Ernest's story, we can be a stronger community. So I really wanted to kind of go into the different days that you all have coming up, and the tickets and everything else. How much is everything? How can we go see this play? Well, because we all want to be transformed.
Yes, and you will be transformed, I think, and touched by his story. In addition to being entertained, I hope.
Yes.
The previews, like I said, tonight is our final preview. Tickets are $25. You can call the Southern Rep box office at 504-522-6545. That's 522-6545 for tickets. And like I said, they're $25 tonight for preview, or you can visit their website, www.southernrep.com. tomorrow night is opening night, and there's going to be a pre-performance talk by the playwrights, Joe and Andrew Doss.
So tomorrow night, y'all don't play around. Go tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night will be great. I mean, Andrew Doss is in seminary school. The other writer, he's the son of Joe Doss at Yale. So he's flying in tomorrow. Saturday, he'll be in tomorrow, so he will be there tomorrow night.
All the heavy hitters are there.
And I'm excited for Andrew to be there because Andrew's one of the playwrights. Andrew was 7 years old when Ernest was executed, but he remembers, he's told us about how Ernest had a big impact on his life. He's like, I can remember being a boy, 3, 4, 5 years old. My father, this case consumed my father, trying to save this man's life. And as a young child watching that, and, Ernest, actually 15 minutes before he was executed, he called their house. And Andrew was like, I was 7 years old. I can remember my mom taking the call, crying, and Ernest ministering to her over the phone, then praying together before he went to
He's
chair.
ministering to her.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm excited because Andrew hasn't seen us since our rehearsal. We weren't even in the space. It's been about 3 weeks or so. He was watching us at a rehearsal. So I'm excited for him to come tomorrow to just see how it's just it's a show now. It's come together. So
it's real.
It's real. So that's tomorrow night, and then November 12th, next Thursday, is a Pay What You Can night.
Wait, I think you need to explain that to our listeners because we want to make sure that it's everyone. Sometimes you go through financial difficulties, but this is something that they wanted everyone to be able to experience.
Yes. I mean, the tickets are normally $40, but they're like senior discounts. I think if you're 65 or 60 and over, the tickets are $35, and there are discounts for professionals.
Military personnel, there are discounts, young professionals. How old am I? Damn, I just missed the young professionals by 2 years.
I'm sure student discounts.
Yeah, there's a student discount, $10 for students.
Yes.
There's even a teacher discount, $20 for teachers.
Yes. So if you're a teacher, I've invited a couple of my teacher friends. Make sure you let them know.
Yes.
And you will get a discount. And like this week, I think this is a great thing that Southern Rep does. Like November 5th and 6th, the show this week, the previews, $5 of every ticket sold were donated to various causes. Voice of the Ex-Offender. Last night, $5 of every ticket was sold was donated to the New Orleans Public Defenders, because public defenders, they don't make a whole lot, and they do.
They get a whole lot.
And they
dropped on them.
They do a whole lot. I mean, as public defenders, people who cannot afford an attorney, but as as an American, part of this Constitution, that is your right.
Right.
Legal representation, fair.
Absolutely.
And which Ernest did not receive. In my opinion. But at any rate, I digress. So, tonight is opening. I mean, tonight is the last preview. Tomorrow is opening with the pre-performance talk with the playwrights. And then on November 8th, that Sunday, show is at 6 o'clock. There's a post-matinee talk back. So after the show, I think we're going to do like a Q&A with the audience. The actors, playwrights will be there Sunday.
I like the talkbacks.
Yeah, talkbacks are great. You learn a lot during the talkbacks. I do.
I like the talkbacks.
But performance...
Maybe because I like to talk.
There you have
I like the talkbacks.
Performances are, but starting tomorrow, they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights at 8, Sunday matinees at 6. And our final show is Saturday, November 21st. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm crossing my fingers that they extend it through Thanksgiving weekend.
And my toes.
I hope so. I mean, it depends, but it would be nice.
If the demand is there.
Yeah, exactly.
And our WBOK family can help with that demand because we love Samantha Beaulieu, don't we? So let's help create that demand.
I saw one of our, Brother Larry came to a preview, our first preview Tuesday night. I was shocked to see him.
Shout out to our listeners.
Yeah, in the audience. I was like, whoa, all right.
So make sure you call Southern Rep. They're at 504-522-6545. That's 504-522-6545. Or you can reach them at www.southernrep.com. That's www.southernrep.com. There's tickets and information. And go ahead, Samantha.
Yeah, and the space, where it is, the location.
Oh, yes, please
it's
tell us.
First Grace United Methodist Church. Very fitting, a lovely venue. I mean, a church because, funerals and things happen. I mean, it's just, I think being in a church just really adds to that whole feeling of community and what the play is about and what Ernest would have wanted. So the play is at First Grace United Methodist Church, which is located at 3401 Canal Street, just past Jeff Davis, across the street from Entity. That
I know
beautiful
exactly
church
where
on the
that is. It's
corner.
around the corner for me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be telling all my business.
Right. You could walk, baby. No, I wouldn't walk at night. But, yeah, and one of the restaurant partners is Mandina's on Canal Street.
Really?
I think my mom and her girls may come tonight, and they're going to go to Mandina's
Yes.
first. So if you go, call Mandina's, reservations. And I think they're doing some sort of a special thing for patrons for the play. And Mandina's is at 3800 Canal Street, right up the street.
Right up
so
the
make
street.
it an evening dinner.
Make it an evening. So many times we're not tourists in our own city, and tonight and through the next couple weeks and hopefully through Thanksgiving we can do that. And especially want to support those who support us. And Samantha is a part of the WBOK family. She's done amazing things. She puts WBOK on the map. So let's make sure that we go out and support her tonight, tomorrow night, and throughout the rest of the week.
Sunday,
right? Sunday.
Yeah, and then we start up again on Thursday.
And so make sure you call 504-522-6545 for tickets, or that's www.southernrep.com. That's www.southernrep.com.
And Thursday, the 12th, we pick back up again, and that's Pay What You Can night.
Pay What You Can night.
So, and
take the kids. You know what? These are lessons that our children really need to learn. So make sure, you bring the kids. Age appropriate, obviously.
Yeah, it may be, if not, I wouldn't bring a 4-year-old.
Right.
But
my 12-year-old can learn a lesson.
Yeah, because I think it will spark some really important dialogue about the legal system, and mass incarceration, and making mistakes, and forgiving yourself. Forgiving others. It's about forgiveness. It's about transformation. There are just so many messages in this. And the music, I have to say, we are backed up by an amazing gospel chorus, which consists of Brittany James, and a Dillard graduate. I've worked with Brittany before at we've done many things together, shows at Anthony Bean. So it's really a joy to work with her again. And she's got a beautiful voice. And Miss Barbara Shorts. And, they're our gospel chorus. And Brendan Connolly did the scoring, the musical score.
Really?
So there's original music. Music is a big part of it. Music feeds the soul.
Well, if it is anything like the performance that you give us downstairs in the WBOK lobby, I know that you all are in for a treat. So make sure you come out and support Samantha in her play, because we are so excited to have you. This is The Good Life. This is Eileen. I know you warmed our hearts. So thank you so much for being here, Miss Samantha Beaulieu. This is Eileen. I'm out. I'll see you on Monday.